And suicide, like Kate Spade's, is a major public health problem. It is the 10th leading cause of death here in the U.S.
We're joined now by Crisis Prevention and Intervention Manager at EveryMind, Lorraine Helferich. Lorraine, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
And it comes, as it turns out, by chance, but it couldn't be any more topical because of what happened to Kate Spade yesterday. We were watching that story, hearing from members of the family who said that her mental condition deteriorated over time, that she had been fixated on Robin Williams' suicide. You deal with this problem all the time.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar to you? Is this the sign of someone very deeply in trouble and in need of intervention?
Yeah, it can be. We definitely see that sometimes when people are having suicidal thoughts and ideations themselves, that they will focus on death and dying and other suicides that may be in the media. So that was definitely a warning sign.
But you know, here was a woman that we looked at as having it all, right? I mean, she had this successful, wildly successful business, namesake business. She had a husband, a 13-year-old daughter she loved. And from the outside looking in, it looked like she had it all. She looked like it was a perfect situation to be in, and yet it didn't tell the whole story. That's often the case, right?
That is often the case. And, you know, I think it's important to remember that nobody is immune to being at risk of suicide, regardless of race and socioeconomic status. You know, everybody is at risk. Everybody can fall into this place, and it's important that people realize that there is help out there and that things can get better with some help.
One of the things that your organization wants very much to do is to try and relieve the stigma that's attached to mental illness, and that very often winds up in these kinds of tragedies. And it occurs to me that people who get in particularly difficult situations like this have a lot of shame and self-loathing, and don't want to go and admit the fact that they're having this turmoil. That's the worst thing you could do, as it turns out.
Right, and so it's really important to ask for help, but it's also very important that we as a society make it a conversation that's okay to have. Yeah. You know, having thoughts of suicide when someone is feeling very stuck, when they're feeling helpless and they're feeling very hopeless, can be very normal. They just don't know what else to do. And it's not that they want to die by suicide, but they want the pain to end. And so we need to make that a conversation, that, you know, that these thoughts are normal, but that there is help out there.
Is that the intervention? It is having a conversation. It's coming to someone and saying, hey, I care about you. I see you're having problems. How can I help?
Yes, definitely. You know, reaching out and asking directly, you know, if you're having thoughts, someone is having thoughts of killing themselves or taking their life, is helpful, because there is such stigma associated around the subject. And it's important that, you know, we make it a comfortable place to have that conversation.
And in Kate Spade's situation, and Dave, you're absolutely right, because she was worried it was going to affect her brand if she went to seek mental health treatment. But as far as the stigma, you know, approaching someone, listening to them, what are some of the questions we should ask? Should we be the one to confront first and say, hey, you know, are you thinking about taking your life? I mean, should we be that direct?
Yeah, we should be that direct. If we're not able to say those words and to say, you know, to ask someone directly, are you thinking about taking your life? Then how can we expect them to be honest with us? And so when we ask directly, it opens it up for an open, honest conversation, and that you're comfortable having the conversation.
And then do you follow up with, well, how are you planning on doing this?
Yeah. So then, so if someone is thinking about taking their life, we want to know if they have a plan. We want to know if they have the means available to carry out that plan. And then we want to make sure that we're connecting them to support.
And if it's not that friend or that relative or the family member that makes that, there's a suicide prevention hotline, and we've been showing the number a lot around here, so that maybe that's the connection that the person makes. It's whatever you do to get help that is the important place to start.
Yep, and yes, exactly. And the Suicide Prevention Lifeline offers 24/7 support for emotional distress and people who are having thoughts of suicide. You know, there's also the hotline, Montgomery County Hotline. We will answer for anybody, anywhere, and we also offer 24-hour, 7 days a week support.
So you're at EveryMind, you're in Montgomery County, but
yes,
you're not limiting to Montgomery County residents. Anyone, anywhere can call you?
Anyone can call anytime.
And what is your hotline number?
It's 301-738-2255.
All right. Lorraine Helferich with EveryMind, thanks so much for opening our eyes today. Appreciate your candid discussion.
Thank you for having
on
me.
an important topic.